Ladies and gentlemen, we all know the feeling. You have a deadline, the clock is ticking, and yet, instead of starting, you tell yourself, I'll do it later. Later becomes tomorrow, tomorrow becomes next week. And before you know it, you're left scrambling, or worse, you never finish at all. We often laugh about procrastination. We joke about binge, watching shows when we should be working, about scrolling endlessly on our phones instead of writing that report, or about cleaning the house as if dusting shelves is suddenly more important than preparing for a life-changing opportunity. But beneath the humor lies a silent thief, stealing not just our time, but our potential. Procrastination is more than just a bad habit. It is a subtle form of self-sabotage, and today I want to unmask its true cost. First, procrastination costs us time, the most irreplaceable resource we have. You can make more money, you can buy more things, but you can never buy back lost time. Every hour we delay is an hour we'll never see again. Imagine what skills you could have developed, what dreams you could have chased, if only you had started earlier. Second, procrastination costs us opportunity. Life does not wait for us. That application deadline will pass. That promotion might go to someone else. That idea you had could be executed by another person while you were still thinking about it. Opportunities are perishable, and procrastination lets them expire before we even taste them. Third, procrastination costs us peace of mind. Think about the stress you feel when you're racing against time, the guilt of knowing you could have done better, the regret of submitting work that doesn't reflect your true ability. Procrastination turns simple tasks into looming mountains, draining us mentally and emotionally. Fourth, procrastination costs us self-respect. Every time we say, I'll do it later, and fail to fill lives. And finally, procrastination costs us our dreams, because dreams demand action. They demand consistency, they demand courage, and we keep waiting for the perfect time. We wake up one day realizing that time has run out. So how do we fight back? By remembering this. Perfection is not required. Progress is. Start small. 5 minutes today is better than 1 hour someday. Break your tasks into pieces. Stop. Take a breath and start right now, because the true cost of procrastination is not just unfinished work. It's unlived potential, and none of us can afford that. Procrastination steals our most precious resource. Time. If there is one currency in life that is both priceless and limited, it is time. Unlike money, which can be earned, lost, and regained, time only moves forward. Each day that passes is one we can never reclaim. And yet, procrastination is the silent thief that robs us of this treasure while we barely notice. When we procrastinate, we convince ourselves that the cost is small. I'll just do it tomorrow. I have plenty of time. But what feels like a minor delay accumulates into massive loss. Think about the hours you've spent scrolling on your phone, watching just one more episode, or distracting yourself with tasks that didn't matter. Add them up. Not just days, but weeks, months, even years vanish in the fog of procrastination. The scariest part, time wasted cannot be refunded. No matter how wealthy, powerful, or intelligent you are, you cannot buy back a single second. This is why procrastination is so destructive. It trades the irreplaceable for the illusion of comfort. Consider this. How many dreams have been delayed not because they were impossible, but because someone kept waiting for the perfect time? Students put off studying until the night before an exam, only to discover stress replaced true learning. Workers postpone pursuing new skills until opportunities pass them by. Creators delay projects for months or years, thinking they'll start when conditions are ideal, but perfection never arrives. All that remains is lost time. And let's not forget the compounding effect of time. Every day you take action, even a small step, builds momentum. A few minutes of practice each day adds up to expertise over years. 10 pages of reading daily becomes dozens of books annually. Conversely, every day you procrastinate is not just time lost, it is growth denied. The difference between who you are and who you could be often comes down to how you used, or wasted, your time, there's also an emotional cost. Wasted time leaves behind a trail of regret. Think about the unease you feel when you realize you've let hours slip away. That guilt doesn't just disappear, it accumulates, creating a heaviness that shadows your self-esteem. Meanwhile, those who use their time wisely feel a quiet strength, a sense of dignity in knowing they are moving forward. Here's the truth. Procrastination doesn't just steal time from your schedule, it steals life from your years. Imagine what you could accomplish in 5 years if you began today. Now imagine looking back 5 years from now, realizing you wasted that time doing nothing meaningful. The difference is staggering. So how do we protect our time from procrastination? By treating it as sacred, by reminding ourselves that time is the one resource we cannot replenish. Every moment we choose action, we reclaim control from the thief of procrastination. Every task we begin, no matter how small, is an investment in the only life we will ever live. Because at the end of our days, we won't regret the things we started. We will regret the time we lost, and once it's gone forever. Opportunities are perishable, and procrastination lets them expire. If time is our most precious resource, opportunities are the golden doors that time occasionally opens. But here's the hard truth. Those doors do not stay open forever. They are fleeting, temporary, and perishable. And procrastination has a way of making us watch them close before we ever step through. Think about opportunities in your own life. A job opening you thought about applying for but didn't. A chance to speak up in a meeting that you stayed silent in. A relationship you could have nurtured but delayed reaching out. How many of those moments are gone for good? That's the sting of procrastination. It tricks us into thinking the opportunity will still be there when we're ready. But life doesn't work that way. Opportunities have an expiration date. The scholarship deadline passes. The investor moves on. The promotion goes to someone else. The person you wanted to reconnect with moves away. Or worse, they're no longer here. Procrastination whispers later, but life replies too late. What's worse is that opportunities often disguise themselves as small, ordinary choices. Starting a workout routine today could mean a healthier body in the future. Networking at that event could lead to the career breakthrough you didn't expect. Speaking your idea in a meeting could spark a project that changes everything. But procrastination makes us underestimate the weight of those small chances, and by the time we recognize their value, they've already disappeared. History is filled with examples of missed opportunities, brilliant inventions never patented, talented artists who never shared their work, businesses that never got off the ground because their founders kept waiting for a better time. The difference between success and mediocrity often comes down to whether someone acted when the chance appeared. And here's the painful truth: opportunities rarely knock twice. When you delay, you not only miss that chance, you also miss the chain of new opportunities that might have followed. It's a domino effect. One step forward often opens the next door, and the next, and the next. But when procrastination keeps you stuck at the start, the entire chain collapses before it even begins. The real tragedy is that we don't always see the opportunities we lose. Sometimes, we only realize in hindsight what could have been. That moment of recognition can be heavy. The what-ifs, the if-onlys, the sense that you could have lived a very different life if you had acted sooner. But here's the good news. Opportunities don't only exist in the past. They are here now, and they will appear again tomorrow. The key is not to hesitate when they arrive. The solution to procrastination is not perfection, but readiness. You don't need to have everything figured out to start. You just need to act before the door closes. Every time you choose action over delay, you strengthen your ability to seize opportunities. And the more doors you walk through, the more doors open. That's how momentum works. It's not about luck, but about readiness meeting opportunity. So ask yourself, what door is standing open in front of you right now? Will you step through it, or will you let procrastination close it? Because opportunities are like sunsets. You can't wait for them to rise again. Once they're gone, they're gone. Procrastination robs us of peace of mind. When most people think about procrastination, they focus on deadlines, missed tasks, or wasted time. But one of its most devastating costs is invisible: the quiet erosion of peace of mind. Procrastination doesn't just delay tasks. It plants seeds of stress, guilt, and anxiety that grow heavier with every passing day. Think about the last time you postponed something important. Maybe it was preparing a presentation, paying bills, or having a difficult conversation. On the surface, delaying might have felt like relief. You told yourself, "I'll do it tomorrow." But did the weight of that responsibility disappear? No, it lingered, sitting in the back of your mind like an unwelcome guest. And the longer you delayed, the heavier that burden became. This is the cruel irony of procrastination. The very thing we do to avoid discomfort creates even greater discomfort. We postpone a task to escape the stress of starting, but that decision multiplies the stress. A 2-hour project becomes a mountain of dread that steals our sleep, distracts us at work, and eats away at our peace. Psychologists call this the Zeigarnik effect. Unfinished tasks occupy mental space and demand attention, even when we're trying to relax. That's why people who procrastinate often struggle to truly rest. Their bodies might be lying down, but their minds are restless, circling around what they haven't done. And it's not just stress, it's guilt. Every time we delay, we know deep down that we're betraying ourselves. We whisper excuses, but part of us recognizes the truth. I could have done this, but I didn't. That guilt is corrosive. It makes relaxation feel undeserved, joy feel incomplete, and life feel cluttered with what I should have done. Over time, this cycle creates chronic anxiety. Instead of approaching life with calm confidence, procrastinators often leave with an undercurrent of tension. They wake up already behind, they move through their days feeling chased by the things they're avoiding, and the saddest part, much of that stress could be avoided simply by starting earlier. Contrast that with the peace of mind that comes from action. Think about the relief you feel after finally completing a task you've been putting off. It's like a weight lifts from your chest. Suddenly, your energy returns. You can breathe easier. That sense of accomplishment, even from something small, restores confidence and creates inner calm. The difference between a restless mind and a peaceful one often comes down to a simple choice: action or delay. Action may be uncomfortable at first, but it brings clarity and relief. Delay may feel easy at first, but it breeds turmoil. So the next time you catch yourself procrastinating, remember this: you're not just putting off a task, you're putting off peace. And peace of mind is too valuable to sacrifice for temporary comfort. Choose the discomfort of starting now over the torment of carrying it later. Because nothing is more freeing than a clear mind, and nothing steals it faster than procrastination. Delaying action erodes self-respect and confidence. One of the most overlooked costs of procrastination is the damage it does to how we see ourselves. Every time we delay action, we don't just lose time or opportunities. We chip away at our own self-respect. Over time, procrastination doesn't just affect what we do. It affects who we believe we are. Here's why. At the core of self-respect is the ability to trust yourself. When you tell yourself you'll do something and you follow through, you build integrity. You prove to yourself that your word matters. Each completed action strengthens your confidence and reinforces the belief, "I can rely on me." But procrastination creates the opposite cycle. Each time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," and fail to follow through, you send yourself a subtle message: "My word doesn't matter." That small act of self-betrayal doesn't seem significant in the moment, but over time it erodes the foundation of self-trust. Think about it like this: if a friend constantly promised to meet you but always canceled, would you eventually stop believing them? Of course, the same happens internally. When we continually break promises to ourselves, we stop believing in our own discipline, and that loss of trust is devastating. Without self-trust, confidence collapses. Instead of approaching tasks with determination, we hesitate, doubting whether we'll follow through. Instead of pursuing ambitious goals, we lower our standards, afraid of disappointing ourselves again. Procrastination slowly reshapes our identity from someone capable and committed into someone unreliable, even in our own eyes, and this erosion doesn't stay contained. It spreads. When you don't respect your own word, others notice. Missed deadlines, broken commitments, and half-hearted efforts begin to affect your reputation. People may stop relying on you, not because you lack talent, but because procrastination has made you inconsistent. The tragedy is that this cycle becomes self-reinforcing. The more we procrastinate, the less we respect ourselves. The less we respect ourselves, the more we procrastinate, because we no longer believe our actions will make a difference. It becomes a loop of hesitation and disappointment, but here's the good news: the opposite cycle is also true. Every time you follow through, no matter how small the action, you rebuild self-trust. Finishing a workout, completing a report, keeping a personal commitment, it all adds up. Each act of discipline tells your mind, I can count on me, and from that foundation, confidence grows. This is why overcoming procrastination is not just about productivity. It's about identity. It's about becoming someone whose word has weight, someone who respects themselves enough to act. Because at the end of the day, self-respect is not built on intentions. It's built on actions. You don't become confident by wishing. You become confident by doing. And every choice to act is a choice to honor yourself. So remember this: procrastination doesn't just waste your time. It wastes your trust in yourself. And nothing is more powerful than believing in your own ability to act. Protect that belief. Strengthen it with action. Because when you respect your own word, you unlock the confidence to pursue any dream. The greatest cost of procrastination is unlived potential. When we think about procrastination, most of us see it as a temporary delay, a little postponement that will fix tomorrow. But the real danger of procrastination is not in the small delays. The true cost, the deepest wound, is the loss of our potential. And that loss doesn't happen in one dramatic moment. It happens silently, gradually, almost invisibly, until one day we look back and realize how much of our life has slipped away. Potential is the seed of everything extraordinary we could become. It is the book you could have written, the business you could have started, the skills you could have mastered, the relationships you could have nurtured, the impact you could have made. Potential is raw power, but it only comes alive through action. And when procrastination keeps us frozen in hesitation, that power lies dormant, untouched, unused, and ultimately wasted. Think about it. How many ideas have died in notebooks, scribbled down in excitement, but never pursued? How many people have walked away from this world with music still inside them, never sung, never heard? How many dreams have gone unfulfilled not because they were impossible, but because someone kept waiting for the right time to begin? The tragedy of procrastination is that it convinces us we have more time than we actually do. It whispers, there's no rush. You can start tomorrow. But tomorrow is a dangerous word. Tomorrow is where dreams go to die. Tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year, until eventually tomorrow becomes never. And here's the harsh truth: the clock doesn't stop while we wait. Opportunities expire, energy fades, circumstances change. What felt possible at 25 may not be as easy at 45. What seemed within reach today may not even exist a few years from now. Potential is time, sensitive, and procrastination quietly robs us of the window to act. But the loss goes deeper than missed opportunities. It touches the core of who we are. Every time we delay what truly matters, we reinforce a dangerous pattern. We choose comfort over growth, hesitation over courage. Over time, this chips away at our self-belief. We stop seeing ourselves as capable, disciplined, or ambitious. And when that identity is eroded, it doesn't just affect our goals. It affects how we live every part of our lives. Now, imagine the opposite. Imagine if you started acting on your potential today, even in the smallest ways. Imagine if you wrote just one page of your book each morning. Imagine if you took the first step toward that business idea, or practiced your skill for just 10 minutes a day. Small, consistent actions create momentum, and momentum unlocks potential. The more you act, the more possibilities open up. The more you use your potential, the more it expands. Here's a thought worth remembering. You will never regret starting, but you will always regret waiting. No one looks back on their life and says, "I wish I had procrastinated more." But countless people look back with quiet sadness, thinking, "If only I had started sooner. If only I had believed in myself. If only I hadn't waited." The greatest cost of procrastination isn't unfinished tasks or delayed deadlines. It is unlived potential. It is the dreams left unpursued, the talents left undeveloped, the life left unlived. And when we realize this truth, it becomes clear. Procrastination doesn't just waste time, it wastes us. So if there's something on your heart today, start. Take one step. Even the smallest action is infinitely more powerful than endless delay, because your potential deserves more than tomorrow. It deserves today. Ladies and gentlemen, procrastination is not just about putting off tasks. It is about putting off life itself. It steals our most precious resource, time. It lets golden opportunities expire before our eyes. It robs us of our peace of mind, leaving us restless and burdened. It chips away at our self-respect, teaching us to doubt our own word, and most tragically, it buries our potential, leaving our dreams unlived. The truth is, procrastination is a thief that wears a friendly mask. It whispers comfort, promising we can do it later, but behind that mask is regret, missed chances, and an unlived version of ourselves. The good news is this: you hold the power to stop it. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Because freedom, growth, and fulfillment don't come from waiting, they come from action. Even the smallest step forward breaks the cycle and begins a new story, one where your time, opportunities, peace, self-respect, and potential are honored. So the next time procrastination tempts you with delay, remind yourself, every moment you wait is a piece of your life you'll never get back. Choose to act, choose to begin, choose to live your potential now, because life is too short to keep waiting for later. The time is not tomorrow, the time is not someday, the time is now. Thank you.